I've been with my mom this past week, and actually, I will be here through next week as well too. My sister took a 2 week trip, so I am here spending time with my mom, house sitting, dog sitting as well. So my days are pretty chill. And this is kind of what I'm gonna be doing for 2 weeks. I'm feeling so tired today. I am on day 2 of my period, which is just sometimes I feel like I'm always on my period when I am making these vlogs. I brought with me a stack of books. I have my Switch 2 for video games. I have my laptop for like movies, watching YouTube vlogs. Even brought some yarn for some crochet projects. I love coffee but I don't really like the coffee we've been having here at my mom's. So I did get some energy drinks. I just gotta say, I am not really a fan of this. I think it's just because it's this particular flavor in general. This is the Shirley Temple one. I don't know. It is very oddly alcoholic tasting to me, but I had gotten a couple of cans, so I kind of need to suck it up and just drink it. If this would have been a normal cherry flavor, which is what I thought this was going to be because of the cherry on the front. And a reminder, you need to make sure you actually read the flavors, not just go off of what the pictures are on here. I finished The Devil Three Times by Ricky Fane last night. Oh my God. I'm a fan. I really, really loved this book. It starts with the matriarch who was brought to the US as a slave, and then how she builds a relationship with the devil, and how the devil kind of plays a role in the entire family bloodline. This book spreads across 7 generations, and because of that, it's a slower read. It's almost 400 pages. It's a little bit more of an epic, but I think the way Ricky Fain wrote about generational trauma was so interesting and creative, and I think so beautifully examined. I love how the devil plays a huge part in that representation, kind of always showing up when people are at their worst moments. And then I don't want to spoil it, but I think that the devil character in here was very well done, and I kind of love a little bit of the twist on its character that you would get that is different from the Bible, which I really love. I saw some reviews where people kind of wished that the devil showed up more throughout the story and would have played a more major role. And I think I would have agreed with that maybe at the start of the book, but as the book went on, I'm actually really glad that the devil wasn't used more often and that we actually got to focus primarily on the stories about the family. And I liked that the devil really only showed up when shit was really awful and really bad. And he's basically like, hey, I'll provide you a little way out, which I think is so perfectly well done when you think about generational trauma, because it's not like that's something that shows up in literally every single aspect of your life. And that those moments, again, only happen when you are feeling at your lowest of the low. This was such a sad and very kind of distressing story, because you just see how cycles are repeated over and over and over again, whether that be alcoholism, abuse, neglect, abandonment, adultery, and how so often we are so desperate to be loved and seen that we often get involved with people that we probably shouldn't be getting involved in. And I think getting a book like this that really focuses on how slavery specifically impacted this Black family, I think is something that so many people in the US are going to relate to in terms of, you know, whether it be their own family experience. And then if you yourself are not Black, I feel like reading stories like this are just so important, because chattel slavery in the US was horrendous, and there's just no denying how it still affects people to this day. And I think the way Ricky Fain wrote about it was so creative and so beautifully well done. Please check this book out. I think it was awesome, and I'm so impressed that this was his debut novel, because it was to me it was unreal. I loved it. And I really can't wait to see what more he does. I want to say, if that you are interested, I think you gotta get a physical copy. Part of it is because there is this family tree at the beginning of the book, and I was referencing this often. This morning I started The Hunger We Passed Down. This is a horror novel, and I picked it up just on a whim at my local bookstore. Apparently this is another story that is about intergenerational trauma and will also be expanding multiple generations. But I think this is gonna be really cool. We have an Asian Canadian author, and I'm just excited to see where this goes. And then while I'm here, I've been giving myself a goal to try and watch a movie every single day. I arrived on Sunday, and other than that day, I have done a movie every single night. I'm gonna rapid fire through these and not give too much of a review. I might say whether or not I like them. Monday, I watched Jennifer's Body. I cannot believe that this is the first time I've ever watched this movie. It was so perfectly silly and campy. Great amount of creepy, and I will just say Megan Fox was absolutely killer in it. I had no idea that Amanda Seyfried was also in this movie. So well done, and I will just say visually stunning. Love the colors, love the lighting. Because of my little Dracula kick on Tuesday, I watched Nosferatu, the 1922 version. So visually stunning. It has been a really long time since I've watched a silent movie. The way this movie played with light and shadow to create this creepy atmosphere was gorgeous. But I really loved this one. And if you are someone who is interested in just watching older movies and is open to watching silent films, I do recommend this. Wednesday, I watched Frankenhooker. Yes, that is right. Frankenhooker. This is like a B-rated slasher comedy horror movie, and it was so stupid and silly. And Patty Mullen, the girl that played Frankenhooker, did an incredible job and was such a babe. I had a lot of fun with this one. And if you are someone that is open to this kind of thing, please check it out. You've got to be able to go in with a little bit of a sense of humor because it is that ridiculous. I mean, come on, the movie is called Frankenhooker. And then yesterday I took myself on a little solo date to go see Hokum. It's the new movie that has Adam Scott in it. It's the same director or creator, I can't remember, as the person that did Oddity. I liked Oddity. I thought it was okay. It wasn't my favorite, but I think the jump in creativity and writing from Oddity to Hokum was so impressive. Adam Scott does such an incredible job always playing the asshole who drinks too much type of character so well, which is really funny when I feel like a lot of us learned who he is because of Parks and Rec, and he was that really dorky, really sweet, really charismatic guy on there. I loved getting to see the Irish woods and countryside and this isolated haunted hotel. I love folklore so freaking much. There were times I felt like maybe the movie relied a little bit too much on some jump scares, but you know, other than that, it was totally perfect. Since I have gotten to my mom's, I am currently so addicted to these. They taste really good, and on top of it, there's like no caffeine, so it's like perfect for the afternoon, whatever. It reminds me of the way the peach flavor tastes. Like if any of you guys have ever had Calpico, it's this sort of like carbonated, lightly sweet, milky kind of drink. It comes in a ton of different flavors. I get the peach like all the time, but this is not like a milk-based drink at all. It's truly just sparkling water, but the way that the peach flavor comes across, it tastes like that. So if you've had the Calpico, you know how these are. I think my mom and my sister just get these from H Mart. I'll have to ask them. As you saw, I had a cute little day out. I went and got a bagel and a coffee. Bagel was great, by the way. I had a jalapeno cheddar bagel, and then I did a garlic herb cream cheese on top of it. Delicious. Afterwards, I took a little stop at this really cute kind of kitschy vintage thrift store kind of thing. Not everything in there was vintage or antique. There was plenty of stuff that was like newer. I got this really cool ring. Here it is on. My fingers are a little swollen right now from like walking around outside. It's really humid and really hot today. So like literally even like my engagement ring is like not fitting as well as it usually does today. So I'm probably gonna take like all my rings off here in a moment. And then I got this really adorable bunny plushie keychain. So freaking cute. And then look at the little like fabric detail underneath the ears. So freaking cute. And then while I was walking around, there was a little game shop, and then they had some of these cute little Pokemon Trick or Trade little card packs. Super cute. These are like $1.50 each. There's not that many in one of these packs. There's only like 3 cards each, but these are super cute, and I figured I would open them with you. We'll do this Mimikyu one first. Oh my gosh, look at Zubat. These are cute because then they have the little pumpkin thing on it. Chandelure! Oh my god, that's so cool. Look at the subtle holograph that's on that. That's really neat. I hope that's picking up on camera. It looks like it is. Oh, and then we have Greavard. Oh, what a cutie pie. Oh, look at that with all the little candles around there. I love the artwork on this. This is really, really cute. All right, last but not least, we got the little Gengar pack. Oh my god, look, it's Gourgeist, another little holograph. That is so cool. Love the art on this. It has like this sort of like vertical texture on it. Very neat. Oh, look at Litwick. So cute. This one is absolutely adorable. Oh, I don't know. I haven't heard of this Pokemon. Duskull. Very, very cute. Oh, what an adorable little guy. Okay, what a good little pack haul, because I got a little holographic one in each pack. Couldn't have asked for a better one, and guess what? No doubles. Chatting kind of quick because I am trying to head out right now. I want to check out a little local bookstore before I head off to see another movie. I finished The Hunger We Passed Down. I really, really enjoyed this. I think the author did such an incredible job writing about how generational trauma can be passed down between specifically women, but more specifically Asian women. We get not only the current day with Alice as she's kind of struggling with alcoholism, her business, being a single mother. We also get opportunities that glimpse through kind of the lives of each of the women in generations before her, starting with her great-great-grandmother, who was a comfort woman in China for Japanese soldiers. I think so often when we get stories about generational trauma, we tend to focus on the ones that tend to be more like abusive, whether they're physical, verbal, etc. And this book definitely covers that, but I really enjoyed how she explored generational trauma and how it can be passed down, even just because of a lack of acknowledgement or a lack of talking about feelings, where you come from, trying to ignore the past and how your family wound up in the States, in this case Canada. I don't mean the States, I meant the Americas. Anyway, you guys know what I'm getting at. And I feel like being able to cover those different experiences felt very, very relatable to me, and even some of the things that I've experienced in my own family, because passing generational trauma isn't just like physical and verbal abuse, like it's also the silences too. And I just loved how this author was willing to explore all the different forms of that. I loved how the book had both a feeling of kind of constant dread as well as moments of just really, really creepy and grotesque horror. My only critique of the book is that at the end, like where the climax is, I did feel like things get a little bit hand-holdy, a little bit over-explained, and that has got to be probably one of my least favorite experiences, both in books and movies and TV shows. But thankfully, in this instance, I loved the rest of the book so much that it didn't totally ruin it for me, but that is why I knocked off a star in my rating.
Otherwise, highly recommend. This one is so good. I started reading softcore. I'm already over 100 pages in. I'm probably about the 130 mark, maybe 140, which is reaching almost halfway through the book already, and I started it yesterday. This follows Ruth, who is a sex worker slash stripper, and her experiences of being a woman in that type of space. But then one day her roommate, who is also her ex-boyfriend, kind of just ups and disappears, and now we are getting to a point where things are getting really, really surreal, and I have been enjoying the ride so much so far. A little mix of sexy, little mix of creepy. I picked this up on a whim at my local bookstore simply because I really liked the cover, and then when I read the back of it, I said, sign me up. Loving it so far, can't wait to see where it goes.